Holy crap. What a freaking game. The Houston Rockets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 120-118. Kwab. Hold on. I just enjoyed the game.
That was a good game.
It was a good game. I feel like the credits, like at the movies, are coming on, and me and you just sat next to each other for like 2.5 hours. Like that was a good movie.
We're happy. We're happy we didn't leave early. Like
very happy.
Yeah, because the movie started off a little bit sloppy, and then we're like,
Right.
yeah, come on, what are we watching here? But
Surprise ending.
great ending.
Great ending.
Great ending. Some people might not be happy with the ending though. But we're neutral. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. First, some box score stats. Rockets 120, Grizzlies 118. Jalen Green, 42 points on 13 for 18 shooting. Sengun, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Amen Thompson, first team dime, I fucks with you. 19 and 13. Ja had 29. Bane had 22. Jaren Jackson had 17. Again, like this is one of the things, like I had notes in the first half, and now I feel like there's no point in even talking about the first half of what happened. Very sloppy game to start. I thought that I personally think like Zach Edey, you can't play Zach Edey against this team because Sengun is just going to absolutely dominate him. Even though I thought Edey played better today, and Sengun was very inconsistent throughout the night. He had moments where he was really bad, then he had moments where he was really good, and then bad again. I don't like Zach against this team particularly. But the story obviously is Jalen Green going for 42. Got off to a hot start, hit his first 5 field goals. The Grizzlies were getting in transition, getting quick shots. That was like the game plan. You can tell. Yeah. We're not going to let them get set. We're going to take the first good shot available, typically a 3. And it was working out for the most part. Also, we could talk about this later, but the Grizzlies run this 5 out and just go ISO, and it's the weirdest. It's so weird, man. It's like so playground. I don't like it. It is what it is, because sometimes it works with Ja. Actually, it works a lot with Ja and Jaren Jackson as well, but they went to that in the first half a little bit. And the Rockets, to me, came back in the second quarter. Like, every time the Grizzlies try to pull away, the Rockets would force turnovers. They would get easy points in transition. Cam Whitmore hit some timely threes. Jalen Green had some timely threes. Dillon had a couple or 1 or 2 timely threes. So every time the Grizzlies try to pull away, the Rockets were right there. And you got to give credit to them, because that run doesn't happen at the end if they let the Grizzlies get away. And they almost did there in the fourth quarter when Sengun picked up his 5th. And Udoka put out a lineup of Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Steven Adams, and Aaron Holiday. And I was like, where the hell is offense going to come from? This is not good. But they figured it out. I kind of rushed through my notes there just because I really want to talk about just how fun that game was to watch as a neutral observer. What a game. I mean, we had bombs from 3 to beat the shot clock.
Ridiculous.
We had incredible athletic layups from Ja and Jalen Green. Fantastic shot making. Jalen had a 4-point play at the end of the second quarter there. Just a fantastic game to watch between two teams that hopefully are going to have a significantly deep playoff run this year. And with this win, the Rockets are now 3-0 against the Grizzlies, and they're going to win the season series. So any tiebreaker comes down to the Grizzlies and the Rockets are going to take it.
Yeah.
Just a fun game to watch. Kwab, your initial thoughts?
Sam, I agree with you. Fun game to watch. Like you said, sloppy in the first half, sloppy throughout like many parts of the game. Like kind of similar to the first time we did a reaction. The last game we did a reaction. Just so many weird turnovers, I'll say. Like just very. I'm like, why would you do that turnover? So
Ja was terrible today. I know Ja had a nice stat line. Like I read his stat line, he had 29 points, 7 turnovers though. I mean, I thought Ja, despite the fact he almost dropped 30, I thought he was bad today. I did. For the most part.
And I mean, like, I'll start with the Grizzlies. I feel like they need to sometimes run more offense for Jaren Jackson, just because he's been having a great year. A couple of times they went to him in the post. He scored. He can get the other team in foul trouble. It felt like, compared to previous games, even because I watched them the last game when they played the Timberwolves, he just to me, I personally felt like he wasn't getting the ball enough throughout the course of the game. But that third quarter, when Desmond Bane got that technical because of Dylan Brooks, and then he turned up, I thought at that point I was like, oh, the Grizzlies are going to run away with this.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
It just felt that way because Desmond Bane was like, oh, okay, this is what you're going to do, and just kept going. I was like, all right, man, this game might be over. But the fourth quarter run by the Rockets was just impressive. We talked about Jalen Green when we did a Rockets preview and the times we've done reactions. Our whole thing is like when Jalen Green plays well, the Rockets play well,
Yeah.
and the correlation might be because they're starting at Amin Thompson because Jabari has been out. The tempo Amin plays with, and he also looks for Jalen, looks for shooters, like he gets in the lane. It just feels like Jalen Green is just playing way more decisive, way more faster, which helps, like you said, helps with their offense. They get the ball and they go. And to me, that's like a great recipe for them. If they run, it's easier for them because a lot of times their half-court offense just stalls out. Unless you're going to Sengun, and like you said, Sengun didn't really have that. He had an up and down game the whole time, and he was in foul trouble. And compared to like the last time they played the Grizzlies, he didn't really play that well. So to me, having Amin Thompson in the lineup, kind of you see the impact he has, not only on defense, but just the way everybody just seems to be like on the go, which helps them.
Yeah.
It helps them greatly. I mean, great win by the Rockets. Great game overall. Like I said, fun game. Ridiculous game though.
It was fun to watch, man.
I mean, you text me at one point. You're like, "Yo, this is wild." And I was just like, "Yo, what is happening?"
That was one of
now?
the more entertaining fourth quarters I think I've watched all year.
It was crazy. Just some
Yeah,
of the shots. I was like, "What just happened?" But so many, like I said, so many athletic plays on both sides. Like Jalen Green trying to dunk on Edie. So I'm like that. That wasn't close, but hey, good way to get him out the game.
He tried a couple times, man. I forgot. And then Sengun tried. Like everybody was trying to catch a body, bro. It was crazy. I love that though.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it was very competitive, great game. Like I think with both teams, the problem moving forward, they're gonna run into is like they got to clean up the turnovers, clean up the
Grizzlies,
sloppy play.
man.
Yeah,
Especially the Grizzlies.
Props to one thing I'll say about the Grizzlies though, and we've said this previously. They're a very, very deep team. Like,
Yeah.
I think when they came off the bench with Clark, Aldama, LaRavia had a good game off the bench. Scottie Pippen Jr. And I forgot about this, but when I was watching the game, I was like, "Oh snap! Marcus Smart is on this team." I forgot he's on. Yeah, I because he's been in and out the lineup because he's been injured. But they have a very deep team, and they're still missing. Gigi Jackson,
Vince
Williams, Vince. So that's 2-3 players that would be impact players for them. But they gotta clean up the sloppy play, man.
That's on Ja, man. I'm sorry. If you're the point guard of the team, that's on you. You dictate pace. You dictate tempo. You dictate a lot of what goes on in the offense. You can calm your team down. You can get them to stats. To me, that's on Ja. I thought Ja, again, I know he had 29 points, and there might be some Ja Morant fans or Grizzly fans watching this. I thought Ja was bad today.
Are we giving him a little bit of grace just because he's still like it's what?
Yeah, I mean, it is what you're gonna have bad games. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, everybody has bad games. It's not like, and again, in a bad game for Ja Morant, he had 29 points.
And
it wasn't like he was like 4 for 23. He had 29 points still, and he still had moments where he was carrying the team. Yeah. I mean, when he hit that half court three, that crazy layup in transition, there were things there was good there, but for a point guard of your team to be so reckless with the ball, there were so many turnovers that he had that just like at times when they couldn't be putting the team away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought, maybe bad might be too strong, but it wasn't his best. It wasn't Ja Morant. He's a better decision maker than that. Ja,
the
one thing I like about Ja, one of my favorite things about Ja is his decision making and his court vision. He's one of the better passers in the league, and he doesn't really get credit for that because when you watch Ja Morant highlights, you're watching him dunk on people, doing 360 reverse layups, and that's what people think of when they think Ja. But when I think Ja, it's the court vision, it's the decision making. And just today, I thought he was terrible. I mean, even like he had a turnover where he tried to go around through the legs, just trying to be fancy off the dribble for no reason. And when you have 7 turnovers, that adds up, man.
Adds up. I mean, I'll say this though: do we give any credit to Amin?
Of course, that was my next point.
The whole time. Yeah.
Not just Amin, but the Houston Rockets defense in general. What Houston does well is when you get into the paint, they have active hands, and they swipe at the ball because they want to get out and they want to go.
Yeah.
And every time Ja got into the paint, that's what they were doing. And Amin Thompson stayed in front of him, gave him hell. Really, he did. And Ja, even there were a couple times he got into the lane, and that little floater he hit sometimes, he just wasn't He wasn't consistent with it today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to Ahmed. Shout out to the Houston Rockets defense. They're one of the better defenses in the league. Memphis has a good defense too, but Houston, I think, significantly has a better defense. And I think Houston matches up better with Memphis just because with Sengun, even though he was inconsistent today, if you sub out Edey, then you're kind of risking rim protection with Brandon Clark. And then it's like, okay, now Sengun gets the ball in the middle of the paint. You got to give up the hook shot or you got to help out. And then there's going to be Ahmed Thompson for the drop and dunker spot. And that was the dilemma they were having today. I mean, even when Jalen was going off, they had one possession where they trapped Jalen and left Sengun at the top of the key.
Yeah.
You're going to give Sengun a 4-on-3? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, there's only one other center I would not give a and he's the best player in the world.
Yeah. Maybe two. Maybe two of them.
Who's the other one?
Maybe Embiid. But that's...
No, Embiid don't pass like Sengun.
True.
Embiid's taking that shot every time.
Yeah,
Sengun is going
to every time. So.
Yeah, because the play that I'm talking about resulted in an Ahmed Thompson alley-oop dunk.
Yeah. Yep.
So for me, it's like, and that's the thing with Jalen, right? If Jalen gets hot, the Rockets now have all these other options because now teams are like, oh, how do we stop this? Do we double him? If we double him, well, now we're leaving Sengun open in an advantage situation, or maybe even like someone like Fred VanVleet who can hit a three. Fred was pretty much invisible today, but I think at the end when they needed him to make plays, he did. He had a couple assists on the pick and roll. He hit a huge three. He had huge free throws down the stretch. So I'm not going to kill him. But yeah, I mean, overall, Jalen Green, just to go back to that, player of the game, one of the better performances I've seen all year. And this Houston Rockets team, man, if Jalen's playing like that, of course you can't expect 42 from him when he's not having children. But if he can play like that... Hey. Are we going to sit here and act like he didn't turn up last year when he had a kid?
We're not going to last year when Ahmed Thompson was playing more, was in the lineup. Things didn't happen. We gotta give credit. We gotta give credit to our lineup. I think Will buys Houston. He made that point. Again. He was like, Jalen plays better when he has somebody like Thompson in the lineup because
they're great together.
He just has a running mate.
Yeah,
just a running mate. Yeah, and it makes a difference. So the baby stuff I'm not even.
Man, I'm telling you what.
You saying his attributes get +5 because he's.
I mean, absolutely. Every single one of them, too.
Yeah.
3-pointers get up another 10. No, but listen, that was a fun game to watch. I mean, there really isn't too much to dissect. This is the second time they've played in a week. We did a reaction video last week when the Rockets beat them as well. I thought the Grizzlies played a lot better today than they did last week. They, shored up the turnovers, and they forced turnovers on the Rockets. Yeah. This was a game to me, and this is not to take away from Houston, but this is a game that the Grizzlies should have won. You're up double digits with 8 minutes left to go in the game. You're forcing turnovers, and Sengun, and then Dylan Brooks picks up his 5th foul as well. You have Sengun and Brooks in foul trouble. There's no reason for you to lose this game. So shout out to Houston, first and foremost, for putting forth a defensive effort and turning them over to make that comeback. But if I'm Memphis right now, to me, as a Grizzly, I'm like, we lost that game. Like, that's a game we should have had.
Yeah, I agree with that. It felt like it was trending towards the Grizzlies winning that game until the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
like we said in the third quarter, I thought it was a wrap, and then the fourth quarter happened. So yeah, they definitely gave that away. That's again, even the previous game we reacted to, like, it was a winnable. Grizzlies had a chance of winning that too, and
yeah, but the Grizzlies didn't play well that game. Like, Houston dominated that last game.
That's what I'm saying. They did, but like, they didn't play that well. But like, they still had there was a certain point where like the Grizzlies were up and they had a chance to win that game, but it was clear the Rockets were gonna win that game. Today, it felt like the Grizzlies should have won that game and it just didn't come to fruition.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our reaction. Tomorrow, we're going to recap Cavs-Pacers because the Pacers are hot, and they just beat the Cavs.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we do have the option to do Nuggets-Mavericks. We will see. I don't know how that's going to go because we do these games right after, which means we would have to do the Cavs-Pacers and then catch up really quick, hit that rewind button and fast-forward button and catch up on Nuggets-Mavericks. But stay tuned for that. We're going to have power rankings dropping tomorrow. Wait, am I lying about that? Are we doing power rankings? We're doing power rankings tonight, right?
We're doing power rankings tonight,
right.
Yeah.
We're going to have power rankings dropping tomorrow, so look out for that as well. Until then, we'll see you next time for another recap of the Dime. Peace.